107.7 The Franchise.
My jam, this is my new one right here. Have you heard this one, Desmond? This is, you've heard this, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mark
absolutely.
Ronson and Bruno Mars. I'm a Bruno Mars honk.
Can I have a little credit for this?
Yeah, Todd showed me that he introduced me to this song, and so we got the mostly instrumental version. My jam. We're gonna play it all the time now. We're gonna make people nauseous. We play it so much.
Bruno's the man, though.
That's right. Bruno is the man. Desmond Mason is here. It is the Desmond Mason Hour. It is sponsored by Urban Johnny, right? Isn't that right?
My daddy.
Urban Johnny. Might have to, your daddy. By Desmond Mason's daddy, Urban Johnny.
He's Urban. His name's Johnny.
What was it that Eddie said? We'll get Johnny on the phone right now.
We'll get Johnny on the phone right now.
That's pretty funny. But anyway, so Urban Johnny sponsors this hour here with Desmond Mason. Well, what's up, man?
Not too much. Super excited.
Did you let's talk basketball for what? But we have a canvas here.
Yes, we do. That's what I'm excited about. It showed up. It's ready. I told you I had it.
Got
my beginning tools.
It's the second biggest story of the day.
It is.
We already got a mark here. I think that's from the door.
Yep. Well, we'll get that. I can get that fixed.
Yeah, you'll be painting right over that.
Yep.
But anyway, that's here. So if you guys are new to our program, Desmond Mason comes in twice a week. He talks some basketball with us. We talk basketball, art, celebrities, and then other ridiculous things. And so we decided since he comes in here twice a week for an hour at a time, and we just thought every time he comes in here, he's just going to leave some of his very cheap art supplies. He doesn't bring the really expensive ones, but his cheap ones he's going to bring in here. And every day that he's in here, Todd, he's gonna just do a couple little things. This
could be interesting because he'll be in a different mood every single time.
Right.
So it'll be like a collage type of piece.
Whatever he wants.
It'll progress.
And it'll just progress over time. We'll take a picture of it each time. We'll tweet it out. And whatever it is at the end, maybe we'll give it away or maybe I'll just hoard it for myself. But either way, there will be something in the library here from Desmond Mason. All right. The game last night. Well, let's start with Kevin Durant. That was first off, the first half. You see anything like that before?
It was incredible. I mean, it was you can just tell he was in the zone. He had a couple of heat checks that was so unbelievable.
And he was hitting them. I mean, he went for another heat check and then another heat check and then another
When he missed that last one, I told my grandpa, I was watching the game with my grandpa, I said, if he'd have made that, I just left.
He was on fire. He was the fire starter.
Can you explain to listeners what that feeling is where the basket just feels like it's as big as an ocean? Like, can you explain it?
Well, I mean, he hits tough shots on a regular basis, but once a guy like him gets hot, and starts making the tough shots, it's all about feel after that. He can jump up and shoot the ball from just about anywhere, and he's going to make it or he's going to get really close. It's a fun feeling. You feel like everything you throw up is going to go in. I had it a few times in my career, and literally everything's the contested one.
I always think about Tracy McGrady.
Yeah.
It always, I felt like when other ones you can think.
Just, a quick note is that, especially like T-Mac, he was one of the few guys, but, all the athletic guys, if you look over time, weren't very good shooters. Michael Jordan wasn't a great shooter. I mean, when they jumped, T-Mac was one of the anomalies when could lift off of the ground feet shot. There's no way you can contest that. Rasheed Wallace was another one. He's so high. Jermaine O'Neal was a
So what kind of I did last night as a whole? You play well, a lot of heat checking going on. Late in the game, no Durant. Late in the game, I would also argue that there was probably a little too much isolation going on. But overall, you come out of there and you think what? I mean, the word that comes to mind for me is just kind of relieved. Like, just take the L. Okay, mild ankle sprain, fine. Take the L. We'll move on.
Yeah.
Do you get that feeling? What would you think about it?
No, I mean, I think that was that's pretty accurate. Going into a hostile environment like that against the number one team in the West, and these guys can get it going really fast. It's going to be tough to win a game. You just want to compete and give yourself a chance to win the game, which they did. Kevin going down was a little nerve-wracking for everyone. But the guys continued to compete and again, gave themselves a chance to win. But when you have a 17-point lead and you're on the road, you got to find a way to hold on to that lead. And the NBA is a game of runs. You know they're going to come back. They're too good not to come back. But you got to find a way to hold on to that lead. And what happened is they started giving up open threes, which they didn't do during that run, that stretch where they got up 17. They started turning the ball over, which they didn't do. Right. You just can't allow that to happen.
In case you missed it too, Desmond, I don't know if you heard Scott Brooks' reaction when Durant got hurt, like the moment he went down.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
That was his initial reaction.
It kind of sounds like Scott.
In his head, that's what was going on, you know. You mentioned that they started giving up open threes. A lot of that, too, I think sometimes people don't realize when you make shots and you get a chance to set up your defense. I mean, the Warriors were getting a lot of shots in transition, and they moved the basketball so well. Not just turnovers, but also the Thunder were shooting a lot of jump shots. So the Warriors were getting a lot of long rebounds and getting out quick, too.
Yeah, I mean, you got to know that Golden State, that's the way they play. So they know how to play. They know when they jack jump shots like that ball's going to come off hard. So you can see those guards, they just hang around the three-point line. They don't shoot and run back. They don't shoot and crash the boards. They hang exactly where they are, knowing that once that ball hits the rim, if it's going to be a little long, it's going to come off hard and fly back. And they got a lot of offensive tip backs in second possessions because of that. But Oklahoma City doesn't, they shoot jump shots, but not at the click as Golden State. And so you can see them running to the boards to try to get that shot. Golden State's getting it and taking off back down the floor. So, again, if you're Oklahoma City, we've talked about them. They have to get closer to the basket and be more aggressive driving. Jump shots.
Hashtag get to the rim, right, Zach?
That's right. Hashtag go to the rim. On Twitter, I'm always, and I get it. Well, actually, you tell me, should I get as frustrated as I usually do when the Thunder fall into what I like to call hashtag jump shot mode? Like, I mean, I always chalk it up to, and you tell me if this is the case, where I just chalk it up to, well, it's 82 games. Not everybody wants to bang around every night, and just collision after collision after collision. That's just the way it is. So sometimes they're just going to have jump shooting nights. Is it as simple as that, or what?
No, I mean, you have to create a culture of who you are. So let's look at Golden State. Golden State's not going to say, well, we're not really making a lot of threes, so I think we should probably drive to the basket and try to get to the free throw line. No, they're going to shoot more.
They'll keep shooting.
They're going to continue to shoot. And that's just the culture of their team. If you're Oklahoma City,
Is that the culture of the Thunder?
It's a culture that I don't think it works for them. But I think their culture is Russell attacking the basket, Kevin attacking the basket,
right.
Those guys getting to the free throw line.
Right.
I mean, they've been known to be a really, 1%-wise, a good free throw shooting team. Second is that they are very aggressive to the basket and they get to the line. As I heard earlier, Reggie Jackson last year and the year before, everyone was talking about he was the best finisher at the basket. And he's fallen in love with the jumper as well. They all, Nick Collison, he was shooting threes. Serge Ibaka, he's shooting threes. Nobody's going to the basket.
Yeah, Jackson's got 2 free throws the last 4 games. And I know I'm Mr. Negative, but what the hell's up with Reggie Jackson right now?
Man, he his game was attacking the rim. He's got a really nice floater. He just knows how to finish at the basket. He's athletic enough to dunk. We've seen him dunk over the last couple of years on people. But sometimes guys think they need to prove that they're shooters as opposed to just play their game. And I think that's what he's doing as his surge, that, hey, I can be a stretch 4. I mean, just play your game, and you'll be fine.
Desmond Mason is with us in studio on 107.7 The Franchise. I kind of felt last night that the drug – I use this analogy with Josh Heupel, the offensive coordinator for Oklahoma football, and I feel like I'm going to use it again here. I said with Josh Heupel after the Bedlam game that he had finally gotten to running the ball, and I feel like he hates running the football. He likes to throw it as a coordinator, as a play caller. He likes to throw the football because he was a quarterback. But finally he realized, okay, we should probably run, hand the ball off and run. And he did it the entire game in Bedlam, just the entire game until we got to overtime. And when we went to overtime, he was like, okay, maybe we'll pass again. And it was like he
just one more hit, man.
Yeah, that's right. It's a drug. Like it's a drug
exactly
for him,
right.
And he was on the wagon for a while, and he just fell off. And I felt like last night, I'll use the same analogy with the Thunder, where the Thunder's drug, in my opinion, is isolation. And for a lot of this year, even with and without Katie and Russ, I feel like the ball movement's been there and everything. And then last night, I mean, Kevin got hot, and it's all right. Everybody get the bleep out of the way. And I felt like even after he left, that stayed. Did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, when he's hot like that, you want to get him the ball. But when you have him go down, I mean, he was the guy that was hot. So you may want to start working the ball to see if you can get somebody else hot again. And then you can maybe, let's say Russell, and then you can go back into that again. But, I can be honest. Coaches say it all the time. Trainers say it. Anybody that's played the game will tell you, guys sometimes just get bored of doing the simple things when you're playing basketball. It's like Shaquille O'Neal. He started doing all that dribbling between his legs and craziness during the course of a game because he got bored, because he was able to take 2 dribbles, turn and dunk on people just about every single play or get fouled. It's like shooting a jump hook. Bang, bang, jump hook. Bang, bang, jump hook. After about 10 of those, you're kind of like, okay, this is really boring, And so guys start to try to expand their game, and that was Serge Ibaka as well. 18-footers, they get old after a while.
Right. You had your mic open. I didn't know if you were.
No, I was just going to ask you. I know we're going to talk more about the Thunder, but what'd you make of the Rondo trade last night?
Rondo he's a really good basketball player. Don't get me wrong, and I enjoyed watching him play when they had the big 3 out in Boston. But he's not that player anymore, and everyone knows he's had issues. He's been unpredictable. So I think Dallas has. I like how Dallas is playing. I think they got a good thing going. I know this is a Mark Cuban move, and I don't think it's going to help. I think it's going to hurt because they've talked. I mean, you don't know what Rondo's going to show up at practice or games. Maybe he's different in Dallas as opposed to Boston, but Boston's been trying to get rid of him for a long time, so I just know there's something underlying there.
My thought on it was that they, of course, I looked up statistics, and Todd doesn't like when I do that.
Zach just basically, again, said, boom!
That's right. I gave that to Todd this time. Boom.
Zach's in all this player efficiency
he's
rating
not the
and
same
defensive
player.
efficiency
He's not and it proves that he's not the same player.
Possessions divided by assists times steals, carry the 2.
See, he does that whenever I've got him in a corner. 'Cause that's what happens. Whenever I got him in a corner, he does that voice.
Well, explain to him what defensive efficiency rating is.
Defensive efficiency rating is.
Let's before you even start talking, I want to be clear. I'm totally tuning out right now to what you're about to say.
Are you really?
All the efficiency ratings to me mean 0.
Thank you.
They mean nothing. They're just stats.
Thank you.
All they are is stats. That is it.
I know, but they prove a point.
Do they?
Hey, hashtag facts only.
Okay. Well,
You go with eyeballs, right, Desmond?
Hey, listen, all I'm going to say is you want to talk about efficiency rating, maybe go back and look at Robert Orr's, but I'm telling you, I want Big Shot Bob on my team. Boom!
All right, then I won't use him, and I'll still make my point.
Okay, I like that.
He is not even close to the same player. And the Mavericks offense, here's the one stat I will give you. The Mavericks offense is number 1 in the league.
In efficiency, or I mean, what are we going with here?
In many metrics.
Okay.
Why trade for Rondo? I mean, because he ain't the same guy defensively. Why trade for Rondo? I mean, you're going to get some semblance of the same guy, and your offense is already good.
Yeah, I agree. I think there could be a couple things, but I agree. I think the trade didn't really make a lot of sense.
Right.
On TNT last night, they were talking about how much sense that they thought how much it was going to help Dallas. I don't necessarily think it's going to help Dallas. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it's going to help Dallas. But what I do know is that he makes a lot of money, and he's going to come off the books. Dallas already spends. I mean, they spend a lot of money. Maybe it's opportunity to open a little bit of cap space up for the next summer or the summer after. But right now, hey, we're using what we can and see if it works out. And if it does, maybe if it doesn't, if it's okay. Maybe we get him a little bit cheaper in the summer. If it doesn't, we let him walk. We get the money back on the books, and we can use it to go out and get someone else.
See, I fall on the other side, but I am an admitted Rondo honk for sure.
Of course, he's.
I love Rajon Rondo. And Rondo's a Packers fan too. He's a big Green Bay Packers fan.
Yeah. Nobody cares.
I mean, he and we're like brothers. We're like stepbrothers, kind of.
Not really.
Yeah, and I'm
not even close. Really.
I'm the John C. Reilly, and he's the Will Ferrell on the deal.
No, not close at all. Did you, Todd? Can you pull up from yesterday? And I can't tell you where they are. They're in my folder somewhere. The Bo Pelini clips. I wanted to get Desmond's thought on this. Did you happen to hear what he did in the locker room?
I didn't know.
Okay. Bo Pelini got fired from Nebraska. He had won 9 games every year for the last 7 years. And so he gets fired, and he's in the meeting room with his team telling them what's going down. And he just goes after the athletic director, and somebody catches it all on tape. And so just listen to it, and I'll ask you some follow-up questions. One being, just think about this. Have you ever had a coach or someone in a front office be as pointed, as honest about other people inside the office as Bo? Listen to this.
Obviously, the last couple of days here for me have been, kind of crazy, but, just kind of give you guys a heads up of what. It wasn't a surprise to me. It really wasn't. I didn't really have any relationship with the AD. The guy, you guys saw him yesterday. The guy's a total pussy. I mean, he is. I mean, he's a total. And since I've been here, he's been here for about 2 years. I've probably had a conversation with the guy a couple times. You saw him. He's never been in the locker room. And at the end of the day, he just, he was never going to support us.
Anybody ever like that in the locker room to you?
To me?
I mean, to your team? To your team?
Yeah, well, we've had coaches kind of go off on players, really call players out, but not go off on what's happening upstairs. But we've had some coaches that have really attacked players before. Yeah.
Have you seen a coach-player fight? Physical fight?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Care to share?
No.
Ah, damn.
Can't tell you that one.
Come on, Des. I thought we were boys now.
Listen, if it's a Desmond
story. I brought in a damn canvas for you. Come on.
If it's a Desmond story, it's got to involve Gary Payton, so we know one side of it.
Actually, this one doesn't involve Gary, ironically.
Unbelievable.
We've had some really good player fights as well in the locker rooms.
Let me ask you guys this. Bo Pelini, you would think, pretty honest on that
You
audio.
can tell us about the player fights, right?
I can totally do that, yeah. Those are good ones. Those are always good.
Okay.
Give us some good ones.
One of the good ones in Utah, Art Long and Olumide Oyedeji when I was in Seattle.
Bless you.
That
was so good.
Yeah.
Olumide was from Africa, and
you don't say.
Yeah.
I thought he was from Georgia. Come on.
Olumide, he's from Shanghai. No, Olumide's from he was from Africa. So Art Long was obviously a Cincinnati guy. Art Long's the guy that punched a horse cop. I mean, well, he punched the actual horse. Yeah, he punched the horse, broke the horse down. So we're in Utah, and Olumide is not playing very well. Everybody's frustrated. We're losing, and Art Long starts saying, I should be in the game. I don't know why Olumide's in the game. Just kept going. And Olumide's a really quiet, not saying anything to anybody, but strong, 6'10", about 260, but never says anything. He snapped.
Did he really?
He just snapped. And he stood up and got in Art Long's face, and Art Long, thinks he's tough, and he's a big guy too. And Olumide, when they got face-to-face, Olumide looked at him, and Art Long got his finger, poked him in the forehead. And Olumide, he took one hand, grabbed him by the throat, slammed him into one of the lockers, and so he's in a tight lock, so he can't get out now. And then he grabs him with the other hand by the throat, and he's choking him in the locker.
Oh, he was completely inside the locker.
He had him inside the locker, yeah. And he couldn't get out. And Olumide is really strong, so now his feet are lifted. He's pushed back in the locker. There's no way he was getting out of there, and it took about 4 or 5 of us to get him off of it.
Oh, yes. That is a good one. All right, good one there. Bo Pelini, you would think, pretty honest on that audio tape, right? Pretty honest. Who in sports?
Maybe a little too honest, but yeah.
Who in sports, if I gave you right now, I give you all of sports, Desmond, and even for you, if you want to, you can go back to your playing days and answer this question if you want to. But for me and you, Todd, let's go active. Who in sports would you like most to be Bo Pelini type honest. That isn't in the public right now. But you would like that guy to be the most honest. You're like, just give him, like, he gets all-time truth serum.
Me?
Yeah, you can go.
Phil Jackson. Because I know there's some good Kobe, some good Michael Jordan, some of those really great teams. You know there was some craziness going on.
That's a good one. Yeah. That's a good one. There'll be a lot of OU fans that would say Bob Stoops, for sure.
I'll give you one. Derrick Rose.
Wow, that'd be a good one, too.
I would love to hear how he really feels.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Derrick Rose is like the only person that takes more days off than Kara Rice in America. Derrick Rose is the only person.
Not very nice.
Derrick Rose is the guy that calls in sick. You're like, what do you got? I just don't feel right. No, but like, what? Did you go to the doctor? No, I just don't feel right.
Yeah, I'm just out.
Yeah, I'm just out.
Just out today.
Taking a sick day. You don't have any. Sorry. Taking one.
Yeah, I'm taking
Cleared
another.
to come to work, so.
Yeah, not happening.
I'm hanging in bed.
I don't feel good. Did you ever have players do that? Yeah, Hey, coach.
That's where Gary Payton comes in.
I'm off today.
It was quick story. I won't get long-winded on this one, but it was hilarious as a young player. The Milwaukee trade, the Seattle-Milwaukee trade happened. So me and Gary Payton, we go to Seattle, Ray Allen and Kevin Ollie and all those guys. I mean, we go to Milwaukee and all those other guys go to Seattle. Our team was a very veteran-oriented team. Gary Payton, Irvin Johnson, Sam Cassell, Anthony Mason, Jason Caffey, Tim Thomas. We were very veteran-oriented. So at shoot-arounds and practices, we had, two of the best players in the game at the time, Sam Cassell and Gary Payton. They would sit and talk and say, Gary, and Sam would go, Gary, you going to go today? And Gary's like, no, it's my day off. It's your day, go. They would swap out who would be practicing. One would sit in sweats on the sideline, the other one would practice. And then during shoot-arounds, they would go shoot at the other end by themselves while the rest of the team worked. And George Karl never said anything. Totally took days off all the time.
Gosh. All that stuff always strikes me when you say stories like that. It's like when the coach has zero power. None. Just zero. Or at least zero control over what he does. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
All right, so Desmond Mason is in studio. We'll have Desmond Mason's celebrity story of the week. And in the final segment, I picture the final segment going something like this, Todd, where he maybe is able to keep his headphones on while he does a couple of strokes on the canvas. And at the same time, you will be playing Audio Showdown for him. So he'll just we'll have the mic set off where he's a little bit in the background. But it'll all work.
Desmond, it's too bad you're not the other station. You'd have like 35 minutes an hour to work on your art during commercials.
Yeah. You only have a couple minutes here. That's all you got.
Get it in, get it out.
That's right. So we'll do that. And Desmond Mason's celebrity story of the week. Next in the franchise.
Now back to Zach McCrite and Todd Lisenbee on Oklahoma's new sound for sports, 107.7 The Franchise.
Desmond Mason's in studio. We were talking about the Warriors during the break, and I was bringing up to him, I just don't see it. I don't think you see it very often in sports anymore, or in NBA anymore, where it just seems like it's not all the time, but I think it's far more of a percentage of the time with the Warriors than anyone else that they'll just switch on screens all the time. And what does that say? Is that a smart tactic? Is it a mask for bad defense? What is it?
It's a smart tactic, but it's also masking, their defensive capabilities from the standpoint of like a pick and roll or, some kind of double and rotation. They're not they're not a great defensive team. They can't get back in those rotations. They can't hedge and get back. They're going to drop the ball on some of those responsibilities. But, what they do is they throw teams off. And as we were talking in the break, I played on teams where, the rule was to switch at 8 seconds. That was because there was not enough time to get your mismatch. There's not enough time for the big guy to roll to the basket and you to throw it to him and him to make a move. And normally guards come off and if they see a big on them, they take a couple of steps back and then they try to attack and they shoot the last second shot, which you'll take that percentage. So Golden State does a good job at that because they're covering up the fact that, they're not going to rotate out and they can't guard the pick and roll that well.
Yeah, I can't. It just seems like there's not too many mismatches. Even if you did do it all the time with the Warriors, there's not too many mismatches that you could. I guess if you got Klay Thompson on a big, that would be a problem. But other than that, I mean, I just don't see too many that you could really, just because all those guys seem to. I'm thinking more big man for the Warriors. They're not one where it's not like Steven Adams is out there, having to take on a point guard after a switch. You know what I mean?
You still don't want Festus Ezeli one-on-one with Russell Westbrook.
I keep thinking Draymond Green. Like Draymond Green, he can probably hold his own out there against, the average point guard.
Draymond Green's kind of a tweener player, though.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like all the Warriors are kind of tweeners, like even their big guys.
I think a lot of the reason why they're playing a lot of tweeners right now is because Bogut and Lee are hurt.
That's
right. When those two come back, they probably won't switch as much.
Right. Harrison Barnes. I'm thinking about what they got now, obviously, but I guess that would change.
And they still try to make the switch on, because Andrew can move his feet and David Lee can move his feet as well. But, again, if you're a coach and you're looking at the way they're switching now, I mean, why not run pick and roll with Kevin and Russell? To me, that's if they want to switch that, okay.
I don't know if you noticed this at all last night, but I get frustrated sometimes. Anthony Morrow is on this team for a reason, and I think it's only one reason, and that is to shoot threes.
Yeah.
And there are times, especially there was times where both Andre Robertson and Anthony Morrow were in the game at the same time, and the ball, I can remember one specific time, Kevin Durant's got it. He comes off a screen, and he's in the lane. And everybody crashes down on him. And he throws it out to the corner. Andre Robertson's there, and he clanks another three. And I'm like, why can't that guy be Morrow? Like, why can't that be him? And I understand if it's just one of them on the floor, I get it. Morrow doesn't play good defense. You got to have the defensive guy. I mean, I get all that, but if you're going to have them both on the floor, why can't you have Morrow out there?
Well, I mean, there's a reason that Andre's open.
But if Morrow's out there, then you got to guard him, and that leaves more room for KD.
Well, the point is, if you got them both on the floor, who are you going to leave? There's a reason that he's open. It was just like Tabo. There was a reason that he was open. The reason he's open is because he can't shoot, and the guy that's guarding him can roam all over the place.
Yeah, my point is, that will unclog the lane for Kevin Durant if Morrow is out there.
Yeah, but you can't. If you put Morrow in, then you it's like a liability asset.
Right.
And when you got to kind of pick your poison. Yeah. And so, like, if you're looking at the situation, like, okay, we have scorers on the floor. We don't need another scorer. We need somebody that can actually guard somebody. So, that's why you have Andre out. Because, again, Morrow's not going to play too much defense.
Robertson did have 12 boards last night, too.
And he can definitely rebound the ball.
You know what? Robertson, I tweeted this out last night. I can't think. Can you think of a guy, Desmond? Maybe there's plenty of these guys, and I just can't think of them off the top of my head. But I can't think of another quote-unquote two-guard that I've had so little confidence in from the perimeter offensively, but so much confidence in the paint. He can kind of get his in the paint. Like, I mean, at least he can go up there with a lot of guys in the paint.
Well, one of them just got traded yesterday. Rondo? That way, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably right.
He takes a shot outside of 15
He's not
feet
a two-guard.
As a Celtic fan, I just started looking down the court the other way.
He's not a two-guard, but I'm kind of thinking, like those shooting guards. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want this shooting guard to shoot, but if you give him the ball anywhere near the basket, I'll take my chances.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably his game. I mean, that's he knows who he is. Again, these guys, they've played a certain way, and then they show up on this team, and everybody's wanting to shoot 3-point shots. I don't really get it, but he's a decent finisher around the basket. He's got nice head fakes, a little under the basket moves. He knows how to use the basket to protect himself from getting blocked, and he's a sneaky good rebounder. So that's his game. Jack and Trey is not his game.
Todd, I got this text from Desmond this morning. You ready for this? It's time for celebrity talk.
Serge had 6 boards last night, too. Let's give him some credit where credit's due. Way to go, Serge. You did your job.
6 boards, 6 blocks?
6 boards.
6 boards, okay. He writes, Kid Rock, Smokey Robinson. How about this for just a combination? Kid Rock, Smokey Robinson. On a yacht, whale watching with Leonardo DiCaprio. I defy anyone to come up with a better trio, just a more rare trio of people.
Two separate situations.
All right. So explain. Let's explain the story to our listeners today.
So I was trying to figure out coming up with a really good celebrity story, and I think the best one I got, obviously the George Strait story was great.
That's
you can't really beat that. But then this competes really well. Again, most of this happens out in Cabo where we have a place, and we've been going for years and years with our kids, and so we're out and they have a New Year's party. It's the owners of the property. It's his birthday, and so he always throws this big party. So we're all down. There's only about maybe 300 or 400 people at this event, and they got a big stage set up on the lawn, and this whole thing, right? So the ocean is a backdrop.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's so perfect. And then so he goes up on the stage, and like all of the members, we all sing happy birthday to him. Then he said, "I got a surprise for you guys. My really good friends had a cover band playing for about an hour. My really good friend is gonna come up and he's gonna play a couple songs." So at the time, again, it's kind of it's not really our scene, but these people are very nice people, and we've known a lot of these members for a long time, and some of the celebrities that stay there. But celebrities bring celebrities. I mean, they all bring their friends. So Mike goes, I got a good friend. He's gonna come up and play a couple of songs. I just asked him, and he said he would do it. Walks up. He says his real name, which I don't know. I can't remember what his real name is. But Kid Rock walks up on stage. So everybody's clapping and going crazy, and again, it's like a loop. It's like unplugged.
Right.
So
yeah.
Robert Ritchie, in case you're wondering.
That's him.
Robert Ritchie.
So he walks up on the stage, and he plays like 2 songs, just killing it. Everybody's having a good time and jamming, and then he stops and goes, "I asked my good friend to come up and play 2 songs with me." And he says, "I know you all know who he is." He's like, "This has never happened before, and it will never happen again." And he's like, "Smokey, you want to come on the stage?" And Smokey Robinson goes on the stage with Kid Rock. Barry Gordy helps Smokey Robinson on the stage, and Kid Rock sings background for Smokey Robinson. For 2 songs
Really?
in front of us, yeah. It was the most incredible. It was incredible.
That is a wild duo.
Yeah, so it was just, but he loves Smokey music, and so to hear him sing background for Smokey Robinson still, he still got it. And so I had a chance to meet him afterwards and talk to him, and it was, for me, it was one of the highlights of my life.
Smokey Robinson strikes me as the guy who will be in a club and will see a really hot 25-year-old on the arm of a 25-year-old guy and still be able to take the 25-year-old girl off the 25-year-old guy.
I just Googled Kid Rock, Smokey Robinson. It looks like they met at a Kentucky Derby party in 2013.
We had him out.
A story about how they met, and Kid Rock talking about meeting him, how cool he was. So
no, it was before then. It was.
Really?
It was absolutely before then.
Gotcha.
Yep.
That is great. Don't you think Smokey Robinson would be that guy?
He is, man.
How you doing?
His eyes are green. They're like green.
Right. And he's still got that beautiful hair,
Soul glow.
That's right. He does. He's got a little soul glow. And he'd just be, hey, real soft spoken. How about you just come with me, little lady? I can just totally see him doing that.
Fine tonight, mama.
That's right. Yeah. How about you come? I'll sing. Have you ever heard of Motown? Come with me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That would totally be great. All right. So, all right, do we save the Leo story for next time?
We can. It's shorter, but we can.
Oh, well, then fire away.
Okay, so we're out. It was after Shutter Island. He had just finished Shutter Island, and we're out. And he was a new member of the club, and it was a buzz that he was coming in town, but we heard it got canceled. So a friend of mine says, "Hey, listen, we're gonna go out on a boat, and we want you guys to go." And I'm like, "Nah, got the kids. I don't think we're gonna go." He's like, "Dude, if you don't go, the boat's not going out. You got to go." And I'm like, "All right, we'll go." So we go in town.
Gotcha.
We walk in, 100 feet, just monster. We get on, the door opens, and it's Leo DiCaprio. They snuck him on the boat, and he wanted to go out with some people and have some, just kind of hang out. So they asked us to go.
And this boat wasn't going to go if you weren't on it.
That was just a lie to get more people on the boat. I know that for a fact because he was on the boat and that boat was going somewhere.
That boat was going somewhere.
So he introduces himself like nobody knew who he was, and it was only 8 of us on the boat. And so he says Leo, and we go. He's like, just go and have some fun. And so we go up front, and he was dating Bar Raffaele at the time, so she was there with some friends. We had our friends, and Brett Hull, the hockey player, was with us as well. So we go out, and all these sea dudes start following us.
Stars that are always on these boats with you.
These sea dudes start following us. And they followed us probably a good mile or so, trying to catch him on camera.
Really?
Yeah. They found
I'm
out
waiting for Nipsey Russell or somebody to make an appearance in these stories.
And then Daz Dillon just showed up.
That's right. I seriously, Todd, if me and you if we put our heads together and just came up with a ridiculous trio of celebrities,
I'll tell you what.
I bet you 2 of them were on a boat with him
Next
somewhere.
time before you come in, Dez, Zach and I are going to come up with just a random 10 celebrities, and we're going to guess before we give you the list how many you've met.
Okay. Cool.
And we'll see what the number is.
Cool.
All right. Yeah, I like that.
And you were speaking of Smokey Robinson. That made me think of this.
Just let just let it shine through.
Yes.
Juices and berries. Just juices and berries.
I know, baby. This is our second straight reference to Coming to America on the Desmond Mason Show.
Prince of Zamunda.
Hey, that's right. King Joffrey. That's so great. Two straight we should just make a Coming to America reference every time Desmond Mason comes
not?
in. That's right. Hey, that's right. Why not? By the end of the season, we will have referenced the entire movie.
No, the whole movie.
That's right. Speaking of which, by the end of this basketball season, we will have ourselves another Desmond Mason masterpiece, art masterpiece. We got a blank canvas. We will do the audio showdown while Desmond Mason is painting for us.
This is beautiful. What is that, velvet?
It's canvas, but it all happens next.
Now back to Zach McCrite and Todd Lisenbee on Oklahoma's new sound for sports, 107.7 The Franchise.
I believe the children are our future. Thank you. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside.
This is my favorite here.
Give them a sense of pride. Make it easier.
Some of the good stuff, right?
So the good stuff. That boy good.
Join the show.
Enjoy, young man.
I decided long ago.
That's so good.
So
never
great.
walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if the eyes would see, you can't take away my dignity.
So great.
Because the greatest. Love of all.
Desmond's losing it.
Love me. Shake the chocolate.
Drop the mic.
Take the chocolate.
That is Randy Watson
Randy Watson.
from Coming to America. Sexual chocolate on the franchise. You heard it here first on the franchise. All right. So we have got today. It should be in my folder, Todd. Sorry. We're going to do audio showdown here in just a second. So I have got, and I'm going to tweet out a picture at Big Easy, BIGEZ. I have got Desmond Mason in front of a blank canvas. Every day that he comes in here twice a week. And every day that he does, he will add a little more to this canvas. He has brought in some... what would you call those?
Oil sticks.
Oil sticks.
Yeah, oil sticks.
He's got some oil sticks that he's going to put on here, Todd. It's very beautiful, and I got a little, just a little something to wet the palette, if you will, a little wet the palette thing. So he's going to start drawing here in just a second. You can go ahead if you want to. And
I always start my paintings. My under is I am art, so it gets my mind in the right place.
Is that right?
Yeah,
You draw. So you
I write I am art, and then I paint over it.
Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well,
Why not?
All right. So do that. Get her going. And at the same time, while he's on, he's just going to talk. We've got a makeshift studio back here, so you're going to hear him a little bit off the mic. But we're also, while he's doing this, he is going to. Oh, let me take a picture of that. He is going to do an audio showdown here with us. All right. Let's do that. 1, 2, and 3. Beautiful.
2 clips enter, 1 survives. You decide.
Look his dick in the mouth.
It's Audio Showdown on 107.7 The
Hot his
Franchise.
mic up a little bit.
do this.
It's funny hearing him laugh in the background. All right. So, who is our champion today, Todd?
Our champion is a 3-time champion now. This is, in fact, we're going to have a first today. We're going to have Caliendo versus Caliendo today.
Is that? Oh gosh, a lot.
Yes.
Are you familiar with Frank Caliendo, Desmond?
No.
Okay.
He does the voice impressions. He's most famous for John Madden.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
Huge impersonator.
This is
really
he was
good.
on with John Gruden on Monday Night Football. Gruden has a deal called the Gruden Grinder, and this is Frank Caliendo being put through the Gruden Grinder.
Let me throw some rapid-fire questions at you. Let me see how good you really are. Morgan Freeman.
Ah, yes. There was back to pass. Jay Cutler in the pocket, flinging the ball down the field and intercepted.
How about William Shatner?
I love it. What's there not to love? The game is like a bunch of Roman gladiators out there defending, offensing.
How about John Madden? Do you miss being in the booth, Coach?
I mean, you think of all the things that you can do and all the things that you can't do in between those 2 sets of things. I mean, that's pretty much everything. But I mean, it really is one of those things you miss. There you go.
So there is our champion. So that is our champion. That is Caliendo with John Gruden. So now we've got Caliendo on Caliendo Crime here.
I feel like Randy Watson should be our challenger, but it's not.
It would be an all-time champion, though. That's what would happen. That's already in retirement, for sure. So here we go. Who is our champion today? Christmas themed, I've been told.
Our challenger today is this is from ESPN Television. Mike and Mike in the Morning. Which is on ESPN Television.
ESPN Television.
And this is Frank Caliendo reading "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" and going in and out of different characters of all the ESPN type of personalities that he impersonates.
All right.
Start with Adam Schefter.
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care. According to my sources, St. Nicholas was listed as probable, which soon would be there.
Mike Ditka.
The children nest all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums dance in their heads. Dancing sugar plums. Come on, man, stop it. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. You actually get a visual of me in pajamas if you think hard enough. Let's move on here.
Mel Kiper Jr.
When out the law there rose such a clatter, sprang to the bed to see what's the matter. Away the window, I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters with tremendous force, incredible agility, and threw up the sash.
Stephen A. Smith.
The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave an effervescent and vivacious tranquility to midday objects below, when what to my awestruck and marveling eyes should appear but a miniature air and snow travel vehicle and 8 utterly diminutive reindeer.
John Gruden.
With a little old driver so lively and quick, kind of like a Drew Brees type, man. I tell you what, I knew in a moment it had to be St. Nick. More rapid than Chip Kelly's Eagles offense. I love what he's doing there. His coursers, they came and whistled and shouted and called them by name.
Chris Berman.
No Dasher, no Dancer, no Prince or Vixen. On Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, and to the top of the wall. No dash away, dash away. Dash away all. Nobody circles the reindeer like the big man in red.
Lou Holtz.
As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when the beat that obstacle back to the sky, and none of this makes sense. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with 8 sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too.
Bill Walton.
And then with a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof as I drew in my head and was turning around. Down the chimney St. Nicholas, the second most giving man in the history of Western civilization, behind only the great John Wooden, came with a bound.
Bob Lee.
He was dressed in all fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys wrapped in paper of great designs. All this and more coming up on Outside the Lines.
Ron Jaworski.
His eyes, how they twinkled. He had a merry old shape. His cheeks were like roses. I know from watching over 192 hours of tape. His droll little mouth was like the greatest bow of all time. And the beard on his chin was as white as the gloves of a mime.
So there it is. That's our challenger today. Caliendo versus Caliendo. So, how do we do this? 88474. If you want the champion to move on, type in text, then a space, then Gruden. All right? Text space Gruden. If you want the first one, the first Caliendo clip to move on. If you want the challenger to move on, type in text, then a space, then Christmas.
Or Xmas if you're a godless Jezebel.
Okay.
I'm kidding. That's what my grandpa calls people that put Xmas.
So text space Gruden or text space Christmas or Xmas to 88474, and we'll give you the results on Monday's show. All right.
Jaffe Joffer, ruler of Zamunda.
Yeah, well, have a seat. Chair number 2 be ready in a second.
Chair number 2, be ready in a second.
So good.
All right, so there, let's. You want to stop there?
Yeah, we'll stop. I could go on.
You would go.
I was kind of going. I'm gonna stop there.
Yeah, let's stop there. How would you explain what you have done so far?
I know there's only one way to explain it.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. What is that, velvet?
It is beautiful. So explain to the listeners what you think you've done. I'm gonna tweet out a picture as well.
It's just like a lot of times I start paintings off, and right now the last couple of years I've been into Jean-Michel Basquiat, and so I've been really working toward his style and his looseness of work. So that's how this piece is starting. It will probably end up nothing like that, but
then I definitely have to take a picture.
That's kind of the vibe that I'm in right now. So it's
right now to me, you are painting a portrait of Todd.
There it is, and I got King on it. It says King.
Is that canvas that big? I thought it was a smaller canvas.
You have a big head. That is true.
Like
both literally and figuratively.
You need the autumn rhythm canvas for me.
That's right. Todd has a very big head. All right, good stuff from everybody. Desmond, always a pleasure. Absolutely. I wonder, do you even enjoy coming in here with us? Like we're just like, well. We talked about Thunder for 20 minutes, and then the other 20 was celebrity talking paint. Like,
that's how I function. Though anybody that knows me, they know I'm a little all over the place, but it's fun being that way. It's not
you fit in perfect with us. Then just want to say too, tonight 6 to 7 is counting down to tip off because we have high school football at 7 o'clock tonight. So
another game. That's right.
An early countdown to tip off tonight.
Thanks a lot, OSSAA.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Douglas. I'm working on a Friday night. I could have been in the club. Instead, I'm going to be in the stadium bringing you 3A football.
There you go.
Yep. So,
and then I'll be in the club.
I could have been in the club.
With Smokey Robinson.
That's right.
After that. All right. Good talking to you, Des. That was fun.
Always good, man. I always like the laughs in the morning.
So next week, he'll be in here, and we'll add more to the painting, and we'll just keep on going.
Let your soul glow, Des.
My soul is glowing.